Okay, I love it. Hey, Linda, hanging out, working in the trees. I love it. Hi, let me just turn on my other video. Hi, everyone. Welcome to EnergyWorks. Thanks for showing up and coming. Tonight, we're going to talk about setting space and how to clear your space, how to change it, how to transform it. you cannot you cannot actually create or you can't clear kind of energy. You can't create it, you can't destroy it, but you can change it, you can transform it. And so these are some of the tools that we are going to do tonight. I hope this video is working. So welcome. Before we get started, I just want to invite you also on Sunday. I'm going to be doing an event with Val Fishman Sunday at 1 o'clock on Zoom. You can check out my video, my website at kimberlysimo.com. And we have been working on death and dying. And really, it's not necessarily you have to have a death, but you know how we all celebrate birthdays, how we're all celebrating all the new coming in. But if you can realize that the miracles come when we in cycles, when we let go of something that isn't working on our life, when we can celebrate kind of the death that we have every day of something that isn't working, when we can close that, leave that behind, then miracles show up. And so, especially in our society, we are so focused on new things, new life, celebrating a new birth. But you can never have a birth really without acknowledging what has come up to clear, what has come up to release, what is dying. And so this part of death is so important for us to look at, to acknowledge, to let go of. And I think as a collective, all of us are kind of confronted with that right now. And by looking at this virus and, the deaths, we're seeing the death tolls kind of every day. But, we don't necessarily have to lose a body if we just know how to end a cycle. If you're at the end, if you could even see it in your life, if you're at the end of a divorce or in a relationship somehow, or something maybe with your relationship that isn't working out, we can just end that and then something new can begin. That is why I always say every night I divorce my husband, because if I can divorce him and just end it, I'm done. Then the next day I can have a new relationship. And then I can look for possibilities and miracles to show up, just something new. So join me on Sunday, join me and Val Fishman and I for this series that we are doing last week. You can check it out on YouTube, my YouTube channel. And this week we're going to do grieving. And when we can really grieve what we've been hanging on to, then we can then be born into something new. And so tonight, we're going to be working 3 steps, kind of the 3 steps of first kind of identifying our space, what's in the space, and then really clearing our space and transforming our space. So last week, we talked about awareness and being aware of what is the energy in our space. We also talked about attention, kind of where our attention goes, our energy flows. And why that is so important is because when I'm looking at people and what they're creating in their lives, they can only create with the amount of energy that they have within their space. So if your attention is out in all these projects trying to create multiple different things, and what it will happen is that you get fragmented. And so we have to call our attention back, which we use the tool of having our spirit dog kind of bring our attention back within our space so then we could fill up. And by collecting up kind of our energy balls of where our attention goes, by filling ourselves up, that gives us the ability to create with 100% of our energy. And today, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be setting space, and why setting space is so important. Just to give you a little history of kind of where I came up with these tools, when I was in my late 20s, I had been teaching aerobics for like 15 years. And my body was totally run down. I had fibromyalgia, I had Crohn's disease, chronic fatigue, I had parasites, I had all these symptoms. And I was like, I was the walking dead. And at that time, I couldn't exercise anymore. And I was living on food stamps. I was in junior college, and I was in junior college for 10 years because I had this severe learning disability. So I was in dire straits. And my mom and I, we went to go see a friend, and we drove the car like 4 hours away. And on our trip, we were both thinking, okay, what can we do? What is our next step that we can do to create a new life, to start a new beginning? And this question is so important because now we're all like looking at, how do we create our new life? What can we do? And how can we begin again? So, one of the things that we came up with, because we weren't really good at much, was that my dad's a hoarder. And all my life, my mother and I would be organizing, cleaning, creating order out of all the chaos that we lived in. And we lived near the dumps at that time in Montalban. And so he would collect kind of all these broken objects, thinking that he would repair them and fix them. He'd be going to Goodwill all the time. And so the environment in our home was so packed that there wasn't space. And when you don't have space in an environment, then there's no movement. And what happens is all of that stuff starts to take you over, and you feel like it's caving in on you. And so I became an organizer. My mother and I, we had a company. It was the very first organizing company in the nation. It was called Time Savers. And our slogan was, "We save you time, energy, and money." And no one had heard of what organizing ever was. So at that time, I was living in the East Bay. We would drive over to Mill Valley, where I currently live. We would wear sandwich boards, go down to the depot downtown Mill Valley, and we'd walk around with these signs about promoting our organizing business. And people didn't quite get the concept. And then about 3 months later, we were in Worth magazine. We had clientele, and this whole organizing idea took off. And we aligned with some social workers who gave us a lot of leads on hoarders and who were going to get kicked out of their house unless their environment didn't change. And I remember going into, it was just like going into our home. So it didn't affect me. And I thrived in chaos. I could go into the environment, and most of the time there was just a path, in these places. And I could see what could be. I could see the new reality. And so we would go in, we'd totally transform the space. The people would come back and they were able to live in their homes. And then we would create systems for people so they're more organized and efficient. But the problem is that if we weren't continually going into that environment, into that space, then the chaos would return again. And this led me to want to go into counseling. And I got my degree, my master's degree in life transitions counseling at USF. And I wanted to study, if I could only clear the mental chaos in people's mind of where they were stuck and maybe past traumas and pictures. And in clearing that, I thought maybe it could restore like this space and this calmness And that chaos, in clearing that chaos, people could truly transform. And it wasn't until I graduated and I started to do meditation. And on my own, I dropped into my heart. And then I found out, kind of just through exploring and having clients, how to move my energy and how to be heart centered. And in moving energy is where I saw ultimate shifts and lifelong changes happening, and how a person could completely change and transform. So, my journey of being physically overtaken, mentally actually super challenged because of all of the chaos, and totally transforming it for myself and then for my clients too, was a journey of looking at the physical environment and then the mental kind of chaos and pictures in that environment, cleaning that, but also ultimately going into the internal, which is the energetic, clearing energy on the internal. When you clear energy, then you can finally let go of the chaos. And why I'm telling you this story is because there is a way to actually set space with the objects in the environment. You know, I go into homes even still, and a lot of times when people collect things or collect antiques, there can be a vibration of the person that owned that antique. And maybe that person, it just was an addict or a horrible person. Bringing that item into somebody's home can, like, totally change the vibration, and it can turn things upside down. So, the easiest way and the tools that I want to teach you tonight is how to set space, but also how to set objects. Because the easiest kind of way that we can affect the environment and we can change the environment is by setting a frequency in an object. And then that object starts to vibrate. And then that vibration creates this relationship that we have with that object. And it reinforces kind of the energy that we set. And I tell this story many times that in my garage, I set my garage at working out. And every day, both my kids, my husband, and myself at different times, we go in there and we work out, because it's set at that space is set at an energy, it is set at a vibration. And anyone that walks into my garage starts lifting weights, starts moving, because of the way that space is set. So we can use setting space to support your intentions, to support kind of this energy in the environment. Because what will happen is if you walk into an environment, it's like if I travel and I've grown and I shifted and I change, and if I don't set my home before I walk into my house, I will walk in with this new energy, and I will either kind of blast my family out of their space, or that energy, I will hit it and my energy will drop, and then I'll start to match that vibration. So setting space is a way that you can use setting vibration to align and match with your intention so that you can be in the space in a new way. It's interesting because somebody on the call last week, and it came up a few times, of where in their space one person had an ant infestation, another person had a mosquito infestation. And so a lot of times, kind of what is in our space and why are certain energies in that space. And what I want to say about that is ultimately, whatever is in the space, and we're going to explore that tonight, we want to thank it, because it is allowing us then to own our space even more It's allowing us to see that wherever we are not owning and occupying our space, there is another energy that will come in and own it, even if it's an infestation. And then it allows us to get more of our energy committed to our space in our body, because we need that in order to be here in a new way. So tonight, we're just going to kind of go through some meditations, and then we will open our eyes, talk about the next concept, and go through this process. So thank you so much for joining. And go ahead, and if you are not seated, you could be seated on the floor, or your feet are on the floor, but go ahead and just close your eyes and start to be aware of your breath. As you inhale for the count of 4 and hold it, and then exhale for the count of 5 and hold it. And just continue with this breath. As you're inhaling, I want your attention to be placed on your heart. And as you're exhaling, just start to release and let go. And as you're inhaling, imagine the energy moving through your heart like a filter, clearing and purifying and creating this beautiful water, this beautiful space around you. And just be aware without changing what's in your space. And if you were to see your space and the energy in your space as a color, what energy is it? And just notice if your bubble, kind of the energy in the space, is heavy. If it feels like water, or if it feels light, like a mist. And just feel the vibration. If you feel happy, or if you feel sad. Feel what that vibration feels like within your bubble, within your space. And allow your heart to be that light, your awareness, like a flashlight, turning it on, creating a light just to identify what is the energy in my space. And just notice, is this your energy in your space? Or is it somebody else's energy? And as you're breathing in, start to breathe in the light. Breathe in your energy in, kind of that light from source above. And start to exhale out what's not yours. Exhale and release it down into the ground. And as you focus on your heart, it creates a circle around you. It creates your bubble, your container, your fishbowl for your space. And just define the edge of your space about 2.5 feet out. And see the edge of your space as a color, like a neon color, maybe blue or green. Set it at whatever you like. As you define your space, then you'll be able to set the frequency so you can own and occupy it. And now just be aware and allow your attention to go. As the attention moves out to maybe a project that you're working on, it could be something that you're wanting to create. Just see where your attention ends up. It could be on a person you like or don't like. Just start to notice how far your attention goes out. To what does it go? And start to notice how much of your attention is in your bubble and how much of your attention is outside of that bubble. If you are a swimming pool, is your swimming pool full or is it half filled? In order to create anything, we move our attention out. We move it in many directions. The future, the past, up, down. Just be aware of it. And start to just call back your attention as you place your attention in your heart. It's like a magnet and starts to pull in your attention. It starts to pull your energy back from the future, from the past. And as you breathe in your energy, let it purify and cleanse and transform your vibration. And allow a new energy to expand out. And just allow your attention to go again and see where it goes this time. Maybe trying to figure out your future about what you're going to do. And then just drop your attention into your heart and allow it to pull back that energy, to fill yourself up like a container. And as you place your attention on your heart, imagine it to be a diamond, a clear diamond. And I want you to notice that when we set color within our heart, it will create a mist or a field of energy around us. And I want you to see the effects that it has on the body. So just set a color in your heart. Choose a color for the diamond. Maybe just choose a pink color. And as you set your color at pink, just feel that pink mist move out in your bubble. Feel what that feels like. Kind of this energy of self-care, comfort, this kindness, this self-love. It's a patient, it is an allowing to just kind of be here in this space, to care and comfort yourself. Feel this vibration of this pink atmosphere. And just start to notice if there is any other frequencies within your bubble, within your space. Let's just light up any energy that is not yours, maybe an infestation of somebody else's. Light it up as black little dots. And even if you don't see it, just be aware of it and just start to drop it down into the planet. Just start to release it and let go. And start to breathe in that pink. Breathe in the pink into the diamond of your heart. And allow that pink atmosphere to move out all around you. And now I want you to set your heart at a different color. Choose a color you like, or maybe choose a blue. And just set the vibration of that blue, that clarity. And just feel that blue mist moving out in your bubble. That creativity, that blue of spirit, new life, new beginnings. or what that blue may mean for you. Just feel that atmosphere of blue. It's kind of that water being replenished. And feel it as it were steam. And set now an energy, like an emotion. Maybe it's joy, creativity. And as you set your heart at joy, allow that energy to emanate. It starts to move in a wave form, kind of out in your bubble or at the edge of your fishbowl. And your heart starts to pull that wave of energy, of joy back in. And allow those waves to move out in front, kind of in your future of creativity, of clarity, of your new life. And as it hits the edge of that fishbowl, allow the heart to receive that communication back, that vibration of a new opportunity, a new beginning. It's like a gong as that sound moves out, beautiful fluid waves. That energy is moving through your field. It is setting the vibration in your bubble. And as it hits the edge of the space, it multiplies and returns to your center. Like waves of an ocean, energy goes out to create something new, and then energy returns back to receive it, to be it. Just focus on the diamond of your heart and this blue and the vibration of joy or creativity. That diamond actually is a picture. And what a picture means is a picture contains energy, like color, or a vibration, like an emotion, like joy or creativity. It also contains information, the information of, what it is that you want, or knowledge. And when you see it in this diamond, it's a picture. It's like we dream in pictures. Pictures actually are important because when we move this energy out into the world, people will see our pictures. And we don't even need to say anything. You don't even need to see it in your head. It's more about having an intention of, I want to set the space at a color, blue, at an emotion, joy, at an intention, I want to create something new, even if you don't know what that is. And by moving the vibration, the heart moves the vibration in a wave form out to the edge of the space. And then the heart pulls back the energy and information. And each time the energy moves in, it changes, it transforms. As it moves it back out, and this movement in and out, it moves it to the external, so something shows up in our world. Something then is reflected to us in the external. And as the energy moves back in, it changes and transforms. we can update it. We can change then our picture or reset our space. Just open your eyes for a moment. It's like if you've ever been in your house and there was a fight maybe in your home, and you walked into the room and you could feel something's off, something is a little strange. We're picking up, our heart picks up on vibration. It picks up on the emotion. And maybe things were said in that space. And then we start to feel depressed all of a sudden. We have certain thoughts. And these thoughts then we believe are ours, but it's information that was in the space. And so to set your home is very important every day. We're going to set our home, because when you set your home, what happens then is you set yourself up to succeed. If you're not setting your home, you're just allowing the other energies in the space to come in and maybe invade, and space never remains empty. So by creating this atmosphere, this bubble around a space, it's like our space. We're going to create a new space for your home. So go ahead and just close your eyes. And in your home, put a diamond in the center of your space, in your home space. And create a bubble around your home. The diamond represents the heart, and the heart creates in a circle. And from the diamond, start to ground the diamond so you can imagine like a line of energy moving into the earth. Starting to let go of the energy that's in your home, starting to release it. Energy gets stale because most people are in the horizontal. So after, especially, we have insight on this because we're all at home and people are bouncing off the walls. So how do you change that? You put a diamond in your home, you ground it. You start to unplug the bathtub and release the energy that's, built up. People get annoyed and frustrated because maybe their energy is overtaken. And so when you start to ground it, you start to release the energy that's not yours. And as you release it out of the space, you're emptying the space. It's like the hoarder's home. You're releasing all of the stuff. You're cleaning the space out. You're getting rid of the energy on everything in the space. And you're making the space vertical. And then you connect that diamond. Connect it to source. When you connect the diamond to source, then you get the energy of source that fills up the space. So allow source to fill up your home space. And just see what color source is filling your home with. I see like a white gold light energy. I see many of you have a lot of blue coming in, green, some pink, some purple. And when you ask source, fill my home, fill it up with this new energy, download the update of the day. I always set my home in the morning and kind of at night, and you're asking for the download, the new information to come through and in so that you can grow and thrive without kind of connecting to source, to the light. Then you don't grow, you become horizontal. And just see this energy filling up your home with new information. And set your home at an emotion, set it at a vibration. Maybe it's love, peace, inspiration, joy. And as that energy is coming into this diamond, it's the heart of the home. Wave energy is starting to move down and release into the planet. But also that wave energy is starting to move out into the future, starting to move out to your past, starting to move into the negative, into the positive, starting to fill up the atmosphere in your home. And feel what that feels like, this atmosphere. Kind of even breathe in that mist of light. That white light cleanses the spirit. The gold light cleanses the body. Just breathe that in your heart, breathe it in the heart of the home, and have this mist heal people's spirits and bodies, cleanse kind of the whole field of the home, purify it. It's like that fish tank, moving through, purifying, energizing, resetting, and just notice if this energy is filled up to the top. Does it not only fill your home, but does it fill the bubble up around your home? And just set your intention that your home is filled with this light. It is filled with this energy of a new beginning. It is filled with new information. And allow that diamond to create the wave of energy moving out in your home, in your bubble, around your property, and back. By setting space, you set yourself up to achieve. By setting an intention in that space that you're expanded, that you receive miracles, that you are creating a vibration of miracles moving out. And then the universe gives you those miracles moving back by you asking God to bring in kind of this miracle energy. You're allowing yourself to be new, to be clear, to be cleansed, to transform into this new diamond body of light. And just feel what it feels like then to walk around in the atmosphere of the home. Feel the energy, feel how it's charged, feel how it's filled to the brim. And now I want you to set this diamond in the home at a different emotion. Set it at a different color. And I want you to just even imagine you're moving through this. I'm going to set mine at green, kind of that emerald green, that energy where everything grows and thrives. And this time, set an intention even in your home, in your kind of the heart of your home. And allow that energy to just move out like the wave and move back. And just connect this energy up to source. And when I connect the green up to source, I'm asking source, co-create with me. What energy do you want to bring into the space? And source responded with a very pale blue. And that pale blue, it's kind of like an electric pale blue. That energy, we're going to see what happens, what gets created with that, just even being in communication. Of here's how I want to set the space. What do you think? The feedback loop. And then send that pale blue down to even the planet. Hey, planet, what do you want to What do you want to bring into the space? What kind of earth energy? What color? What is the vibration? What is the update? What is the new update in my home? Maybe in your business, in your work? The planet shifted yesterday. And by asking for this update that the body can receive, that your home can receive, it's a new energy that you want to access. And by just bringing it into this space, can you feel how your atmosphere, it becomes real? New form starts to happen. A new creation gets born. And just allow kind of the wave energy to move out and back. Allow it to move in the vertical. It moves up and down and back. And it moves kind of front and back. And feel kind of the tone, the feeling. And just start to notice if you want to change anything. And let's put some pictures even in your home environment. What are pictures? Pictures are possibilities. They are a new future. So what I do is create a diamond. And in that diamond, I have an intention. Maybe an intention of miracles. I always put miracles because I love miracles, because it's a hello from the universe. And maybe we put a diamond out there and just ask, I want you to have a miracle. So what is a miracle? It is something that you didn't even have an intention of. So I always put a diamond out there asking, okay, God, create a miracle, something that I had no idea of what it was. And just see that diamond and then ground that diamond, connect it, and be looking out for a miracle in the next few days, looking out for something new. And let's also have a diamond out there that we are all, we're all coming back out. Like we have a miracle from God of, okay, this virus is over. We're moving on. We are owning our space in a new way, unlike we ever have before. So just start to notice and start to be aware that we are asking for a miracle to come through so that we are out, we are in a new life. And this new life that we've really brought and integrated, and that we are coming to this new life with our authentic self in a new way. And that is what, I don't know if many of you have noticed, some people have been really tired and they've been trying to update. They've been trying to integrate. They're becoming new. And so just be aware of this space that we're setting. And now kind of open your eyes. Now here is a great tool. With objects, let's say I'm going to take my candle, for example. What I'll do is if I start to go into a home and they have a lot of activity or there's a lot of negativity, maybe homes contain energy, they contain frequency. So if there is a lot of fighting in a home, then it's vibrating in the walls. And so people actually can come in with machines and measure kind of what is happening in that space. So it's very important to set your things, set kind of, the things in your space. And that way, when you do, it creates vibration and it creates a wave of energy that it can impact you on a physical realm. So, for example, then this object, a candle on my desk. So you want to just kind of release the energy, because energy, you need to move the energy into an object. That's why if you've ever gone into a hoarder's home, it's overwhelming because it's stuck in stored energy. The energy isn't moving. And just like our energy, when our energy becomes stuck and stored and it doesn't move, then our life doesn't work. So, how do we move energy? For example, in this object, you would put an object in your hand and we would release the energy from this object. So, we would connect our heart right into the object. And when you connect your heart into it, it starts to release that energy. It starts to ground it and it starts to connect it. You start to let go and you start to move it. And now that, and it just takes a second, you just release the energy. And if I want to set an object, and this is where you can carry a stone with you during the day, or you can have some kind of object, that you have, like I have these keychains, mindfulness keychains. Anyways, now in this, you can set an energy. So let's say that you want to set this at health, maybe at just abundance and wealth. So what you do is you connect your heart into this object and you start to you move your energy to it and you pull your energy back. This becomes like your intention. And as you move your energy to it and you pull it back, you are now in relationship with this object. By being in relationship, this object, there is no separation between you and it. And by setting it kind of at an intention, so this is, I have abundance or I have health, whatever your intention is. And by connecting it to source, by grounding it, by making it vertical, it starts to move the energy in the space. Now, as my wave energy moves out to it, it moves back to me. And everything then, this starts to vibrate at abundance and it starts to move in the space. And I want you to try this maybe with the objects in your space, because by setting things in your space, when I go into homes, I start to lay my hands on objects like on your desk. By setting the energy, it creates a vibration. And when you set things at success, set the walls, touch things, set the objects. When I would do organizing, this is what I would do. I would set the energy in the object, because objects actually, it's about relations and relationships. It's kind of like in the dumps when my dad would go get these objects of things that were broken because he wanted to fix it. Now, why he wanted to do that? Because in a way, he was sent out to foster homes. So when you're abandoned, kind of like the objects were abandoned, you want to be fixed. And so it's kind of like our relationships with objects are important because it's how we do relationship. And it's a way that we can actually change our relationship with people. And so first thing is by setting an object. So I always set my object. I clear my object in my left hand, connect my heart to it. I just kind of run a loop and it starts to clear. And then I set it, setting this and setting it at, I want you to try this. And when you do this, maybe even just have one object, you can set it, every day, and watch how things start to shift in your life. Because then you leave the object in the room and that object starts to move out and it creates vibration. It's like the symbol I have behind me of that loop. I always have, that's what it looks like, that loop. There's the diamond in the center, and that's the vertical loop and the horizontal loop. And there is a loop front and back. So I want you to now close your eyes and just notice this. Just be in the center of your heart and imagine the bubble around you. The heart creates a bubble. And so I want you to notice, is your bubble kind of pushed up against your nose? And is the back of your bubble kind of moving way out behind you? When I look at people and I read people, if they're stuck in the past, that's what it looks like. Their bubble, they're smashed up against their bubble. They're in the past. Kind of all this energy is stuck in the past. So to adjust it, just move into your heart. And just notice if you tend to be worried about, the future. It's kind of like if you're worried about the future and all your energy and attention is out kind of in the bubble in the future, the back of your bubble gets pushed up against you and it kicks up the front of your bubble. And this is what happens when people can't create their intention, they can't bring their reality into their life. It's because too much of their energy is too far out in front of them. And so now just adjust your bubble and then start to notice, like a scale. If your bubble is kind of moved over to the left, to the negative, to the passive, and you don't have much energy in the body, you are just exhausted all the time, or, you're extremely negative. That means all your energy is too far to the left. And if it's too far to the right, what it means is that you're taking too much action. Your attention is always out, always doing, always trying to achieve. And then you'll always hit a roadblock. You'll almost get to your intention, but you'll never get there. Like something will happen and it'll kill something. So just be aware, it's like your bubble's like a dress. And you want to be in that center. It's kind of the structure of that vertical loop and the horizontal loop. And there is another loop, kind of front and back. That kind of creates you being centered in that space and setting space. So before I go into, let's say, a store, I'll take the image of the loop and I'll throw it kind of right in that store. I'll put a diamond in the center. It'll create the bubble. And then the energy will start to move up and down. So what does that mean? Everywhere I go, I'm bringing in new energy. I'm bringing in the light. I'm bringing miracles in, or joy, or whatever I want to set it at. And what is it doing then in the horizontal, kind of in that horizontal loop? It takes the duality. It takes the duality. If I'm really upset or angry or mad, I'll create positive person around me. Or this is where a lot of times kind of the narcissist and the codependent exist. And they have to have each other to exist. They can't exist without the other one because they're trying to create wholeness, but they're just two opposite sides of the coin. So by occupying our heart, by being in this frequency of the heart, we're unifying. We're unifying wholeness within the field, within the space. Now just focus in your heart and just set an intention in your heart. Set this intention at a color. So your intention, a lot of people say, and I'm just reading this, I'm reading some people out there. I don't know what my intention is. And a lot of times people that come to me, they don't know what their intention is, maybe for a year and they don't know what they want. When I was first kind of starting out, I never knew what I want. I was always following people kind of, I just didn't know what I wanted. And I just always looked to, okay, what don't I want? So when you know what you don't want, you can get to what you want. But it's never about what you want, what you don't want. It is about this center point, unifying it in that center. So just say hello to maybe what you don't want. And now say hello to the opposite, what you do want. And now move to the diamond in your heart, where what you don't want and what you want don't even exist, where it's just a space. It's the unknown. It's the miracle. It's the vibration of something new. And set it at a color. And allow that color to move out like waves as it moves to the edge of your bubble. And it moves back as it moves up and down. Each time it circulates through the heart, it's changing, transforming. And set it at an emotion, how you want to feel. Set it at love. The love moves out and it moves back. And just feel what it feels like to move in this atmosphere. It's like a mist. As you move in your environment, in your home, be moving in this mist. Move in this color. And feel that vibration move into the walls. Feel that love move into the objects around you. And then those objects start to move back to you, this love. And this is the energy of being in a frequency. And you can open your eyes. When people want love, this is what I tell them, is to set the things in your environment at love. And by emanating that love out in the environment, or the miracle kind of you're wanting, kind of the, where you feel supported, where things are supporting you in this environment. And that, we are asking for a miracle from God for this epidemic, that, it's going to get cleared here and now. And that vibration that we are moving out, and that we are opening our hearts to receive this new energy within us. And the quicker too we can let go. This is what I'm seeing, that we have to reconcile this confronting death, confronting the endings, letting go of what's not working, letting that die and dropping that out. Because this is in nature. When you go in nature, side by side, you're seeing a dead tree with fungus growing, and you're seeing a live tree. They exist side by side. And it is a natural process in our cycle. And we can embrace both of them. Then we can move. Then we can, be in harmony and balance. And so this week, set your space. And just a recap about setting space, or even a daily practice that you can do as we move through these steps and learn these tools. Just kind of be in your heart and have your awareness in your heart, and set your heart at an emotion, set it at a color. You can even set it at an intention, and start to allow the energy to move up and down, kind of out and back. And as it's moving in all directions, it's creating this unified field. And it starts to expand out into the external world, which is a reflection of the energy that has come from your internal world. And then it comes back to you, creating a new creation and transmutation into something new each time the journey moves out and back. And by setting space is so important. I wake up, I set my space at a color, I set it at an energy. I set it in an emotion. And by breathing that color in, by exhaling that color, I start to move the loop kind of in these waves, energy waves out and back. And by defining the edge of your space and by defining your field, then you're starting to vibrate like that in your field. And that then is reflected to the whole world. And by all of us doing this, even if we set our energy at different vibrations, we are all connected. Just even connecting into this and listening to this, that I'll start to see your pictures and you'll start to see mine. And before even this reality begins to exist, 3 days before, people will start to see it and feel it. And by being kind of in your bubble, in your space, what happens then is you're not looking to the external world to give you feedback or to give you this boost or to validate you in order for your energy to move up. That your energy is determined and set by you setting your heart, by you setting your field, by you setting your home, and by you setting the objects. So even try one of these tools. Maybe it's setting the objects. In the left hand, you're clearing. In the right hand, you just connect your heart to the object, start to create this relationship with it, set it at the emotion, set it how you want to feel, what you want to happen. And by doing this, you then are this ball of vibration, of energy expanding out into the world in this new way. And let's just all set one intention here for healing, kind of a global healing of setting in our heart that vibration of wholeness. And we are already healed. And feel that vibration of freedom, of healing, and allow that move out into your sphere and have that be reflected back to you to activate it. Move it up to the field and to the planet and allow Source and God to give you every day the updates so that you can fully occupy your body in a new way and that the planet can update you so that you can be here filled with energy and light and a new beginning, as well as an ending, bringing these two in balance. So thank you so much for joining EnergyWorks. We learned about awareness, attention, kind of the space, setting space, and join me next Thursday. In Greater Whole, My Heart to Your Heart. And I do sessions. I help people clear their energy blocks in order for them to create in a whole new reality. So give me a call if you want a session, and let's create miracles together. And if you want to leave a donation, just let me know. You can go to kimbellissimo.com and on my website, and there are some donate buttons. So thank you so much. In Greater Whole.